Okay, for today we have this worksheet that is called Graphing Calculator Skills. And the first thing I want you to do is to put this equation right here in your calculator and hit graph. Now I already did that before we started this video, so kids are already to that point. And it looks kind of like this. And now all of this stuff that I'm about to tell you is on the worksheet all written out. So if you're the kind of kid who's like, show me what the directions are and I can like follow them, here's how you're supposed to do each of these skills. Up here, it's got a list of 5 things I'm going to teach you how to do. Okay, but I want you to do them with me in class, and if you get lost, go back to those directions on how to do it. All right, so here we have our calculator, and everybody go to the place where we're going to spend almost all our time today. Second, calculate. It's right above the trace key. Look at your partner's calculator. See if they're there. All right. Next, we're going to start with the one called value. So we're going to hit enter on value, and then it's saying x equals. Do you see how it's asking you a question? That's what it does pretty much every time. After you hit enter, it doesn't just do what you said. It asks you for more information. Like, it is not calculating a value yet because I haven't told it what x equals. All right, let's calculate the value when x equals 4. Everybody hit 4 and hit enter. You see how it calls out that spot on the graph? Again, that was second calculate the value, and we chose where x equals 4. All right, I hope you caught that. Let's see if you can do it yourself. Find the value where x is -1. What you're finding is the y value when x is -1. Second, calculate a value at -1. Now notice there's 2 kinds of signs for negative. Do you get how there's -1 and there's -1? You got to be careful. Your calculator sometimes won't take it if you type it the wrong way. Okay, I did it the right way, so it worked. Let me just show you what I mean by the wrong way. If I go second, calculate value, and can you get how a kid might think it was -1 like that? You know, it still looks like -1, but they hit the minus key instead of the negative key. And then if I hit enter, it says, oh, I don't know what to do. Whenever that happens, do go to, and it'll say, this is the part I don't get. And see how it's blinking right on that negative? It's trying to tell you that's the part that's messing you up. That's when you say go to, it'll bring you to what's messed up. And hopefully you'll be smart enough to go, oh, that's right. He said sometimes those needed to be the negative sign versus a minus sign. And then when you hit enter, it gives you the answer, which is, I think that's an 8. Is that an 8? Okay, cool. All right, now you know how to do it. Calculate a value. So imagine for a moment that this was an equation for a submarine that was descending down, okay? And let's say we wanted to know, at time 4, where is the submarine? Well, I'd go second, calculate a value where x would be time, because time is always the independent variable, would be 4. And I would go, oh, I guess it's right there. It's at depth 3. Okay, that's value. How about this second calculate? And what's the next thing on the list? Zeros. Do you know that there's 4 names for those? They could have said roots. They could have said x-intercepts. They could have said solutions. But they chose the word zeros. Where is a 0? And why didn't it jump right to it? Because I said to tell me the 0. This is the hardest one. Pay attention. It's asking me a question. Do you see the question that is on your screen? Left bound. That means go and make a left boundary. That means if I'm going to say that this is my 0, you know what's right about there? There's another 0 that's over here. Those are the 2 zeros, okay? I want to get just to the left of it. I'm going to go to do this one on the right. I want to be just to the left of it. Not like, you know, like you can give it a little bit of space. It doesn't have to be perfectly exactly to the left of it. Just get to the left of it and hit enter. And mine puts in a dotted line. Yours might just put in a little triangle. If you look close on your screen, I bet a little triangle just appeared right there. And it's saying from this side on the left to, now it wants the right boundary. I'm going to go to the right of the 0. I know some kids who got confused by this because they're like, what do you mean above? Yes, but it's to the right of it also, isn't it? So I'm to the right of the 0, and I hit enter. Do you see how it kind of framed it in now? So you're saying you want the 0 that's between here and here. And then you arrow over. When it says guess, do you get guess means guess exactly where the 0 is. And you get close, and I think it's about 2.95. I hit enter. Turns out it's exactly 3. One thing to warn you on about this, sometimes your calculator will say like 3.00004. You know, get how that's only off by like a 10,000th? But sometimes your calculator's off a little tiny bit, and you just have to round it. Here's another thing that comes up on people's screens that mess them up. 1 EE negative like 50. Do you know what that means? It's scientific notation, and it's saying take the decimal and move it 50 places to the left. Do you get that would make a tiny number? So if your calculator says that, you can just kind of round it and say pretty much, what's it saying? Round that. What's that about? Called 0. Kids hate to round numbers away to nothingness, but when it's 0.0000000 in front of it, that's pretty much 0. Okay, so your calculator at some point today will probably say that on it. What's it trying to say to you? If the answer is really close to 0. Okay? All right. That was called finding the 0. Now, wasn't there another 0 on my graph? This one over here. All right, how do I find that other 0? Second, calculate 0. Do it yourself without my help. I'm going to pause for a second, see if you can do it by yourself. Okay, let's show you how I would do it. Second, calculate the 0, going down to 0. I could have just hit a 2. Left boundary. I wanted this other one, so I'm going to get to the left of it. I know that's also above it, but it's to the left of it. And then I get to the right of it. It says right bound. There, I'm to the right of that 0. And now I'm going to go on top. It says guess. I'm guessing it's about there. I hit enter, and my answer is 1, 0. Raise your hand if you had that right. Okay, good. That's finding the zeros. Now go to second, calculate. And the next thing we need to find is minimum. Does this graph have a minimum? Yeah, it's that low spot there. So go second, calculate minimum, and choose the third one there. And now what's the first thing it asks you again? Left bound. You got to go to the left of that spot. Why does it do this? Why doesn't it just jump to the answer? Well, in a more complicated graph, there could be a lot of low spots. Like imagine a graph that looks like this that you're going to get to like in pre-calc. Then there could be this low spot, or this low spot, or there could be another one over here, and it wants to know which one you want. So it's trying to give you a way in case your graph has a lot of curves. So left boundary, I got to get to the left of the low spot, left of the minimum. There, I'm to the left of it. And then you get to the right of it, and then you get right on top of it, guessing that you're there, and it's about 1.96, and it's really 1.9999. Do you think I really want you to write 1.99999? Of course not. I want you to write 2. 2, -1. Raise your hand if you got 2, -1 for that spot. Okay, good. Then I'm not even going to do a maximum. Do you get a maximum? This doesn't have a maximum. So if I just flip, if the parabola is flipped over, you do the same thing. You go to the left of it, go to the right of it, go on top of it. So then we're doing the last one, which is second, calculate what? Intersect. So go back to the y equals button because we don't have anything to intersect with. Go to your y equals list and put in another equation, 2x. Because I know ahead of time, I checked it, it's going to cross. Graph those two till you see that they cross. Now, technically, they cross twice, don't they? All right. First, let's do the one that we can see on the screen. Second, calculate, intersect, just like you'd expect. And it's asking me questions again. First, curve. That's just saying, am I on the first of the 2 lines? Yes, I hit enter. second curve. Did it jump? Yeah, it did. It jumped to the other line. Is it on the second curve? I know it's a straight line, but it's always going to say curve. I wish it didn't. I wish it just said line. But it's on the second curve, yes. Enter. What does guess mean? Get really close. I think it's about there, which is about 0.66, and I'll find out the actual answer, 0.55, comma, 1.1. Make sure the kid next to you has that. If they don't, ask them to show that they can do it. So do you? All right. Can you do it? Okay. You know how to do this? I don't see the line that's intersecting them, but I'm not going to believe you would lie to me, so I'll believe that you can do it. Okay, so how about that one we can't see? That's going to help us practice moving and changing the, what do you think it's called? The window. Everybody find the button called window. Do you get that it's above us, that we can't see it? If you can't see it, the calculator can't find it either. So we got to go to window and somehow go up. What would make it so we could see higher? What max? There's two kinds of max. Y max. Go to Y max and make it bigger than 10. Like, don't just make a little tiny change. Might as well double it to like 20. Make your changes fairly big if you're going to do it. And then just look and see if it worked. I hit graph. Can I see both intersection points now? Boom and boom. Yes, I can. Would you please use second calculate intersect to find that other spot? If you get kind of close to where they intersect, you can just hit enter, enter, enter. It's a shortcut, works every time. Just get really close to where they intersect. And then hit second calculate intersect. Get really close to where they intersect. And then say enter, enter, enter. Enter, enter, enter. Boom, there it is, 5.44, comma 10.9-ish. Raise your hand if you had 5.44. All right, good. If you missed that, now you can get extra help from me in a moment, but I'm ready to say I think you know almost everything that you'd need to know. When I say almost everything, let's actually look at the worksheet and see what I'm talking about. Everybody scroll down on the worksheet to where the problems actually begin, which is right here. And we are going to do some, and we are going to skip some. You may skip number 2, which includes all of that stuff, and number 4, which includes all the blanks underneath number 4. I'm saving you a ton of time here. Because I want to be Mr. Nice Guy? No, because I want you to actually do this. And if I make it too big, you're probably going to say, homework's going to take too long to do. This is going to make it much shorter and doable. If you want extra practice, they're there. You can always do number 2 if you want to. All right, let's look at number 1. And the first thing it seems to ask me is about a vertex, and Mr. Server never even told us how to find the vertex. But I told you how to find the what? Maximum and minimum, it's the same thing. Go ahead and put that in your calculator. Find the vertex. It'll be the minimum, by the way, because it's a low spot on that graph. And then tell me what you got for a vertex. Yeah, I could still see it. Remember, if it hadn't shown up right there, I'd think, okay, wait a minute. I wonder where this parabola is. And I would change my window until I could see the graph. Now, if I want the vertex, I'm going second, calculate minimum. And then I get just to the left of the minimum. Get just to the right of the minimum. And get on the minimum. And the minimum is 3.99, comma, -4. Raise your hand if you got about 4, comma, -4. I need to pause for just a second here on my video. Now that we have our vertex, we're trying to stick that vertex in here. There's something here and there's something in there. Do you remember this, Mr. S? Remember how to do this? You got this vertex, you want to put them in here and here. What do you put? You got it. Why do we change this one? Because it was on the inside, and you don't trust things on the inside. Raise your hand if you had that one right already. Okay, cool. Good. I think you get the idea. Now, if I were you, I'd make a little sketch. -4, +4, put a dot, realize it's this way. And once you got a little sketch, it's so much easier to do the domain and range. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Make a little sketch, and then domain and range will come a lot quicker. Nope, almost looks like I did something wrong. 4, -4, sorry. I graphed this in the wrong spot. 4, -4 is down there. Okay, now it'll work much better. Sorry. At least I get some of you to pay attention. That's good. All right, now the last thing, which ones do you have to do for the whole rest of the assignment? I'm going to clear off the ink here, and all I need you to do is number 1 and number 3 and number 5, and that's it. Just 1, 3, and 5. So now you have a bunch of time to work. If you get stuck, please ask for help. That's a crucial part. And that's all I got for you for today.